Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Reese's Random Reviews. I am Reese, I'm about to give you a random review. Today's random review is kind of a very interesting one because it's more of about a theory than an actual review. But, that being said, this is what random reviews are, what they're all about. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about Kubrick movies, but this is one thing that I want to talk about. Does Kubrick have an interest in changing characters' personalities from different perspectives? Let me try and explain what I mean in my own way. Okay, so if you take a look at 2001: A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange, The Shining, and Full Metal Jacket, each character has different personalities in those films. Let's take a look at HAL 9000. He starts off as a polite helper of the Jupiter mission. Then he slowly turns evil and starts to try and kill everyone. You then have Alex from A Clockwork Orange, who gets brainwashed from turning from evil to good and then turns evil again. You have Jack Torrance, who turns nice to evil. And you also have Private Paul from Full Metal Jacket, nice but evil. It's kind of like there's some sort of anti-hero perspective going on here, if you know what I mean. An anti-hero is where a good character sometimes does a bad thing for a good reason, or it's a bad character who then decides to turn good for a good reason. That's kind of what the idea is. But there isn't many anti-hero sides to these characters, it's just their personalities start to slowly show their dark sides. I think the only anti-hero character I could think of is Private Paul from Full Metal Jacket. He starts off as a very slow, dim-witted character that you'd never think would harm a fly. Next thing you know, he's very good at shooting rifles, he kills the sergeant, and then he kills himself. He also does the Kubrick stare, which is very famous in the films. You also have many anti-hero other characters, such as in Eyes Wide Shut. Do you remember that other character that actually was in the masked party, and at the end of the film he told Tom Cruise that he watched him the whole time? He was kind of an anti-hero as well. Plus, he was also kind of responsible to what happened to the woman at the end of the film. But that's also another type of theory. But then, of course, you have Jack Torrance and Alex. This is what I'm trying to say. In The Shining, Jack starts off to be polite and then turns evil. Alex, on the other hand, is evil, good, and then bad. Now, when you watch Alex from A Clockwork Orange, even though that he is the protagonist because he's the main story, he actually isn't a protagonist. To be honest, while I watch him, he's actually the main villain of the movie because he's tortured a lot of characters. When he's brainwashed, he regrets what he's done and gets punished. But when I watch him, I definitely see him as the main villain. I don't see him as an anti-hero. I don't even see him as the main hero. I actually see him as the main villain, and that's why I love A Clockwork Orange so much, and that's why it's one of my favourite films. It's a story about a villain. It's nothing to do about a hero. It's nothing to do with the character trying to be a hero. He's a villain, and he can't help being a villain. That's what the story's all about. And when I watch Jack Torrance from The Shining, and he slowly gets brainwashed into being evil instead of being good, it's kind of like you're watching another version of Alex. I look at Jack Torrance and I see Alex. I look at Alex, I see Jack Torrance. But also at the same time, when I see Jack Torrance, I see HAL 9000. The whole thing of starting polite to turn evil. The thing is as well, HAL 9000 just malfunctioned. Is that another type of brainwashing thing that went on there? We don't know. Maybe the malfunction of HAL really brainwashed him to turn evil, just like what happened with Jack Torrance from The Shining. It's possible, maybe that's what Kubrick was trying to do. Maybe he was trying to reference exactly that these characters start off as nice, interesting personalities and then slowly show their dark sides. If you kind of understand what I'm trying to talk about here, maybe you guys can comment below on this video and say what do you think about this whole situation. Does Stanley Kubrick try to create anti-heroes? Are these guys actually the main villains? Or are these guys just really misunderstood characters that have ended up being brainwashed to be evil? Just try and think about it for a second when you watch it, because that is my theory on these characters. I'm Reese, and I've just given you a random review. Don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to comment below. Thanks, guys.